would you like to see a picture of the big ass paladin Khrushchev?
Please,
Oh my god.
Yes,
He
yes,
said
give me crew
yes,
Courtney
chief.
and went mute
yes,
Give me
for a
crew
second.
chief.
Where are you putting him in? In the general?
Put him in
yes,
character list.
yes. He is
That
going
would
into
make
character
sense.
list.
Yeah. Oh my god, who's that? That dragon?
That was
The
Vio's
heck?
that was Vio's
Oh, we forgot
temptation.
to write her in. Okay, so
Yeah.
did you ever meet up
Speaking
with
of
Krishna?
retcons,
All I'm gonna say is I have already thought about what happens, and it is gonna make an appearance in this campaign.
Where did you?
he said nut, hard nut.
No, that's fan art I found for the Lesty Argonian maid, and I made it a character.
Yes,
Wow.
and it was like Vio. It was damn near Vio's cherry popping. It was like a
That makes
cute date
fucking
through
sense.
lizard. It was like cute lizard date through a fucking
They
underground
went to
pirate.
the yeah. They went to the fucking steam house because that's
Yeah,
where all the lizard folks hang out to bask on rocks and shit.
yeah.
I'm
There
here.
he
He's
is.
hither. He is
The
Uh,
hither.
beautiful bastard himself.
I
All
was
right,
just chilling.
Jay, how do you spell his new name? Cruise Chief. Or
Khrushchev.
Khrushchev. It's
Khrushchev.
it's
Put
K
it in the
H
put it in the
R. Yeah.
Oh god, he spelled cruise.
Put it in the character list.
character list. Oh, this is gonna be great.
Khrushchev. But that's how you pronounce
Khrushchev.
it.
It is Khrushchev. He is a giant hammer wielding paladin. That is all any of you know except for Tyrum. Who
Well,
knows
I mean,
a
from what
little
we can
more.
tell, as far as I know, there's some kind of betrayal going on, and Tyrion like lost his shit like twice.
Tyrum did
So
in fact lose his shit.
twice, right? I had to throw a fucking smoke bomb in Dubro's face to snap him out of it. Like, what the fuck?
Hey! Tyrum snapped out of it.
He
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
he didn't get himself killed, guys. That's what's important.
Dumb.
All
You're one to
right.
talk. You got fucking raped by a bear.
What are you talking about? I killed that bitch.
Yeah,
Killed that bear after
I ripped
Michaelo
his
like
fucking
punched it to
spine
death.
out partially.
He put you through a table a couple times.
Yeah, he put me through a table one time, and he put holes in both of my shoulders. I had to get my shit back. You know what I mean?
This is fair. This is fair. This is true. Because Luna is a man of wilds, you know. Luna is a mountain man. He is 100% gonna fight the bear to death. All right. Welcome back to the Adventures in Evernoor team, session number 2. We were all just kind of going over what everyone remembers. Jay, what do you remember?
I remember we saw our fucking we had visions and dreams and shit. Bear. Josh made a lifelong enemy out of a rabbit.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
Ceras
Oh,
also
Jay,
made a lifelong enemy out of the rabbit.
to make things better, we got a
What?
tidbit that you missed
Yeah.
as we dashed out of the city in a hurry for our lives in the midst of what was about to be a thunderstorm. The crew had to stop and collect Bucket, Ceres's wonder pet, and as Ceres ran down, Ceres left a note next to the unconscious rabbit on the back of the picture of his family, and Ceres wrote 3 times Luna's name before loosening the knots and leaving in a hurry. The rabbit was concussed. He's going to remain unconscious for a while.
Yeah.
And that is
Simon,
canon.
you dirty dog.
Listen. Ceres doesn't know you people. She has never actually killed anyone before, and she does not need any people on her back.
Yeah. But she didn't have to fucking antagonize a motherfucker. But you know what? That's okay.
And so it is said that there is a rabbit somewhere with a note and your name on it, Josh. Legitimately, he has your ticket.
Oh God, I'm on someone's list.
He just has your name on it. I mean, I don't know how many people are named Luna, but he knows what you look like and he knows your first name.
What? To be fair, I don't. Well, no. Oh fuck. Oh.
All right.
Okay. Oh,
Well,
yeah.
so picking up from where we left off, you all seen visions round a campfire, thrown in your face like magical pixie dust by Cade himself. You all fell into deep sleeps and received different dreams, all of which telling you something or not telling you anything at all. Who knows? Um, and you all had fallen into a deep sleep. All of you roll me initiative.
Initiative.
What is this
Initiative.
tomfuckery?
This is the tomfuckerist.
That
I
is
got a 12.
a 16.
13.
Hold on. I gotta get my dice. That is a 11.
All right. Well, in order, who had the highest? I think it was Jay.
Me
Jay was 16. Josh had a
was
13.
blocked.
13.
Ryan, you had an 11.
12. I had a 12.
All right, yeah. So that is the order of which you will all be waking up. Nothing more, nothing less. I just, I wanted to get your blood racing a little bit. You all are going through
Like,
very deep and intense. Oh, damn! Can you hear me?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, we can all hear you.
So,
We heard it all.
oh, I thought you said I was laggy. My bad.
I said
Um,
swaggy.
gang. So, as the party is immersed in their prophecies, they feel immense anxieties, different fears, different realizations. This is, by all means, a nightmare. And then it fades to black. You get sound sleep, better than any rest you've probably ever gotten in your life. I mean, your body is gonna feel super refreshed. Jay, you are the first to wake up. You wake up in the midst of a sandstorm, and pulling all of the spirit mounts is one Cade Cunningtail. His jacket is ripped to shit. He's got a little bit of blood off his mouth, and he's pulling all of your mounts behind him. Everyone else is asleep.
Uh, Tiram just sits up and watches Cade.
Cade just kind of whistles along. You also notice that you have poorly strapped goggles on your face. They are like taped to the side of your helmet, and they are just barely hanging on as they try to sit on your face. Everyone has poorly taped goggles on their head.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I guess Tiram goes to Cade and um what was in that dust you blew in my face?
Ah, good morning, princess. Seems you slept well.
What was that dust?
Ah, future pictures, something like a movie. Didn't it? Did you see anything? It seems pretty self-explanatory. Kay, like, he holds his arm a little bit, continues
Once
pulling
again,
along.
Jackal, you hit me with half truths.
I am a hyena, good sir. I am what is called a gnoll. We might not be ain't shit creatures, but I don't need this ass. Get it right. Uh, he looks at you and he stops all of the beast. I'm telling you the truth. Future dust. Got it from the very sect you worship.
Future dust. We never used future dust. What? This must be one of their newer ploys.
No, sir. This has been around for quite some time. I suppose they wouldn't tell you about it though, because why would they? I don't know. This is your church. He looks at you. You know, I'm a I'm a Buena Fortuna native myself. I grew up listening to those fairy tales, referring to the one from before.
What fairy tales are you talking about specifically, Cade?
You know, the ones where your goddess comes down and rains fortuitous gifts upon those that worship, granting wishes.
Hiram, kind of like turns his body away from you and just kind of gives you like the cold shoulder.
Nothing more than a fairy tale, though. He laughs at you. It was a spell, one that was used on me and passed along to you. It's a bit of a foreboding, if you will.
Keep your tails out of my head unless I ask for them.
Josh, you can wake up whenever you'd like. Kate looks at you. Just trying to help, but hopefully you got some good information out of it because at least you know I'm not lying about things.
I start to blink my eyes open.
You
What?
you see you see Raitu as he like holds on to the back of your Drake. He looks really scared to be up there, but he's also more scared to jump off.
I I grab him to put him at ease on what we're writing.
He swats at your hand as you try to grab him.
What? I look around.
You see Michaelo and Ceras asleep on the other spirit mounts, and you see Kade and Tiram walking in the front. It looks like Tiram's kind of pissy. If not pissy, he's turned away, brooding like Batman.
I hop off my spirit mount and approach Cade and ask him, "What was that you did to us?"
What did you see? He snickers.
Uh, a woman? Think she was in a cloak? I'm not certain what in the world I was seeing. I need some time.
Kade pulls the spirit mounts along. Woman in a cloak, huh? Sounds like a regular Tuesday in just about any bar, friend. Maybe yours was a dud, but it's supposed to tell you your future.
That's not promising.
Magic is a fickle thing.
Yeah.
Ryan, whenever you'd like.
Michaelo waits up uh, very aggressively, like he just had like a bad dream. Like he wakes up and he goes, "Raffle!"
Nice. At this point, you had been sleeping stomach down on top of your bigger turtle mount, who was walking stomach down. You were like stacked cups. Perfect balance.
And he gets up and he looks around and what do I see?
You see sandstorm. You also feel the goggles taped to your face very poorly over top of your mask. But no, it is raging sandstorm as we press along. The only things you can really see are the spirit mounts, Cade, Tiram, and Luna walking in the front, and you can see out a couple feet into the storm. We walk past big rocks and ruins, but nothing of any excitement.
Mm. I look at Tiram and I go, "Hey, what was that?"
Was Tiram looking in this direction?
No, but your passive perception is over 10. I'd probably say you could just hear him.
Uh, Tiram, what's it called? Tiram turns around. What are you talking about?
What, the dream, the dream shit. What was that? What do you throw in our face?
You had a weird dream too.
Oh, okay. So it's just normal around here. Okay then.
No, I
I'm good.
was asking. Tiram walks off, frustrated.
Fucking hell.
Oh.
Ceres, you can wake up whenever you'd like.
Ceres is still asleep.
Hell yeah.
Ceres is riding bucket at this point, right?
No, Ceres, you are passed out on Cade's spirit mount, the
On
hyena.
Cade's spirit mount. That's right. Okay.
You've also got like tatters of his jacket kind of thrown over you.
Right. To prevent sunburn.
Yes,
Got it.
yes, yes.
Yeah, Ceres is staying asleep because I think Ceres like kind of like half wakes up, doesn't want to face the day, and falls back asleep.
You know what? I can see it. Ceres, you remain atop the hyena, passed out. As we walk along, Cade pulls out a box of cigars and starts smoking one. He can't see shit in front of him, but
Wakes
you
up from the
know,
smell of cigars.
um, want one? He looks jokingly.
Ceres frowns, extremely frowns at Cade, puts the rags back over her face, and tries to go back to sleep.
Good morning to you too, then, Pipsqueak. Cade puffs the cigar, and blows the smoke in Ceres's direction.
Here, Tyrim like walks side by side with Cade. So, I was just curious. You had this whole mission going, but you knew Ceres already. What business do you have with the 12-year-old?
He looks at you. 12-year-old? Whom are you talking about?
Tyrim points to the sleeping girl, the kid on your shoulder.
If she was awake, she'd be pissed. Ceres is 18, friend.
Ceres kicks the shit out of Cade.
Boy, thought you were sleeping up there. Make up your mind. If you're just gonna be awake, then you can walk.
Ceres sticks her arms out and puts has her fingers a 2 and a 5.
Yeah, Cade leans in over to Tyrim. She doesn't look a day over 12, I know. And he snickers back to himself. Ceres, you can roll a perception if you'd like.
I'm gonna go ahead and do that. That is a 17.
Damn, you absolutely heard him. He whispered it, but it was still loud because we're in the middle of flying dust.
Ceres reaches out and plucks a single hair off of Cade's leg.
Ah! You see Cade's tail get straight. He just...
Luna giggles in the background.
Quiet, you.
At this point, at this point in y'all's interaction, Tyrim has also drifted back to walking behind Cade and Ceres.
While this is going
Ceres-
on, Michaelo is in the background, amazed at this dust storm because he's lived underground his entire life. He has no idea what is going on. He is just in shock at what is going on around him. He is befuddled. He is like, "What the fuck?"
Michaelo, you've never seen so much sunlight in your life. The very thought of a bright ball of fire in the sky is like taking you aback.
Yes, everything outside is just amazing to Michaelo. He is amazed by everything that he sees.
Ceres?
Like a robot.
Ceres, like groggily leans up with a pissed off expression. And the sleep has been ruined. The attempt to go back to sleep has been ruined with the cigar smoke, the insults, and everything. She grabs Cade's face. Does he resist at all?
He looks concerned and a little confused. He like dashes his eyes at you. What is this?
She opens his mouth slowly and grabs his tongue and pulls it.
His mouth instinctively comes down, and he stops right before actually biting the shit out of you. He then gently takes your hand out of his mouth. I see you're in a bad mood, and I respect that.
Nah, Ceres puts a finger up in a stop. Puts a hand up in a stop position. And then she mimics open your mouth. Like, she opens her jaw and then points at you.
I will not. Do you know how much dust is flying around? Madam, my taste buds are like 7 times more sensitive than yours. I am not. he turns around and attempts to like walk back to the front.
Bitch. Luna says.
Kate stops, turns back around. What did you say?
What? What did you hear?
Fine. Cade stomps over to Ceras and opens his mouth and lets his tongue hang out. He crosses his arms.
Tiram asks, "Where the hell are we going? What are we doing? What is there left to do?
Ceras,
your job for us was to what?"
Ceras looks at Cade's tongue. Is there anything there?
No.
Oh. Okay. All right.
Wow.
Yes. Tiram, you were saying?
What's our next move?
Cade looks at you and he kind of like brushes his hands on his spur. We have 10 beautiful ingredients to collect for my soup. I'm so glad somebody asked. He looks back at Ceras and he kind of like he raspberries at you. He looks back at he looks back at Tiram. Yes, I need 10 ingredients for a soup. Magic soup, real top-notch stuff, but all you need to know is I'm going to pay you 100 gold per item retrieved. All of you. That is all I need your help.
Magic soup?
I did indeed, my friend. The magicalist.
What is so magical about it?
I prefer not to spill my secrets. Not too much. Not any more than I'd have to.
Your analogies grow bothersome, hyena.
It's not an analogy.
What this soup is. What if we're more interested in the soup than the gold?
Will this soup give me magic?
The soup isn't going to help any one of you more than it's going to help me. It's not going to do anything. He stops. He's not going to do anything special for any of you because you don't have problems. He looks at Ceras. Except for her. She has issues. And he sticks his tongue back out.
Ceras shoots up straight and then points at her bag and then points at you, Cade.
Ooh. Cade looks at you. And what do you mean about that? He walks over. He looks back at everybody else while you shake your head.
She shakes her head at Cade and then continues.
Tiram yells, "What do you mean about anything? What do either of you mean? I don't know any of you, and here I am stuck in the desert with all of you, and you say you can hand me whatever I want."
All right,
and the whole operation, but I don't know what any of this means.
Michaelo leans over to Tiram and goes, "Hey, do you think Ceras and Kade are a little bit too close?"
Tiram looks down at Michaelo, then looks back at Kade and Ceras.
Luna starts cackling in the background.
Kade puts his hands up. All right. You got me. Follow me until we get out of this storm and I'll explain everything. God honest truth, but I have been walking you lot behind me in this sandstorm for a day and a half while you all slept peacefully on your mounts.
It's been a day and a half?
You never asked. It has been. Cade kind of gestures to himself. He is covered in blood and scratches. His jacket is torn to shit, and his lip has been bleeding a little bit this whole time. He kind of gestures to himself.
And Luna looks at him and says, "You know, if you didn't blow that shit in our face, we wouldn't be in this situation."
You know, if that shit wasn't blown in my face, I wouldn't be in this situation. Yet here we all are. You see the future, I've seen the future. Why do you think me and Ceras came to Dusty Coins in the first place?
To do a job. I'm pretty sure you probably could have found a more stable place to put us in a coma for a couple of days.
Cade rolls his eyes. I didn't ask for you to be the team, but it seems that magic dictates we're going to be together for a while. Tiram gestures to Tiram. His goddess wields it. Wills it.
His goddess wills it.
The fairy dust is what I'd like to call fortune teller dust. It's magically enhanced sand. You blow it in the face of someone, and they are supposed to see something in their own future. Somewhere along the lines in your timeline, it is going to happen, and it is going to pass without fail. Nothing you can do will change it. Many have tried. He
I,
looks back at Tirum. You've never seen it because you are fortunate. You're one of the good ones. You go out and you help people. But little do you know, the dark side of your church is quite a gruesome one, and it's been that way for a long time. He looks at
Michaelo,
Michaelo.
Michaelo looks at Tyrim and he goes, "You couldn't have just explained it like that? I thought you just had weird dreams in deserts."
For once, I agree with the turtle.
Luna looks confused with his jaw dropped, looking at Michelangelo. Like, what?
Cade throws his arm.
Ceras writes on her board, "Did it not tell you truths?" and then lifts it up for you to read.
Ooh.
I have no fucking clue what the hell I saw.
Tirum looks at Ceras and he exclaims, "Ah, so you two are more alike than I thought."
Michaelo leans over to Tyrim and goes, "I think they're fucking."
Cade instantly hurls. He pulls the trigger right there. Cade puts his hand up. It's nothing against you, Ceras. You're just.
He says that he said that fully, like, out loud.
No, he's just kind of hurling.
No. Did Michelangelo? Did Mikey say that out loud? Fully?
Yeah. I said it to Tyrim.
Oh my god! You weren't even whispering.
Michaelo doesn't whisper.
Ceras looks
I respect it.
fucking pissed. Ceras looks fucking pissed. Looks at you, Mike.
Michaelo is just smiling, like, yeah.
Does the thumb across the throat?
Oh shit!
Michaelo kind of just like steps right behind Tyrim.
all right. Cade is like hurling over. He puts his hand up. All right. All right. Okay. All right. We are going to play the quiet game now, and we are going to walk for another 5 minutes to somewhere out of this sand, please. Cade wipes the throw up off his face. He looks at Ceras. Did your dream mean anything to you, Pipsqueak?
Luna's laughing in the background hysterically.
Ceras writes on her board, the future may tell.
It seems I've passed my cryptics on to you. Cade rolled his eyes. Cade gets back in front of the spirit mounts. Cade hits the back of Ceras' head with his tail again as he walks by to the front of the spirit mounts.
I think what Ceras is going to do.
Michaelo whispers back to Tyrim, like, "Yeah, they're definitely fucking."
I think Ceras goes. What's the order of this caravan?
It is all four of you walking behind Cade as the spirit mounts walk behind you. It seems like everyone gathered in the front.
All right. I think Ceras is going to wait, because Ceras was asleep up until a certain point. So Ceras got up and walked. Okay. All right. I think Ceras is gonna walk next to Tyrim and write on her board, and write who is Khrushchev to you?
Khrushchev.
And
Tyrim looks down at the board and then dramatically looks to the sand. He's not to be trusted is who he is.
She writes, "This is obvious. Why was she working with the owner of the Black Mask?"
Tyrim, again, Tiram looks and reads the board. I'm unsure of anything these days. He doesn't seem to be the person he used to be. And then he keeps walking.
She writes, "Why is that turtle Michaelo such an asshole?" And shows it to you.
Can I see the board?
Very carefully to show it only to you.
Tiram looks at he replies, "That's a mystery I've yet to solve."
Ceras smiles at you, Tiram.
Tiram looks down at Ceras, and he asks about Bucket. What's it called? Did you create that contraption?
She nods her head.
What? When did you have the time to create such a contraption, such a mechanical beast as such?
She writes down on her board. I had many. You know what? I think I'll give Ceras her natural voice while I'm narrating her.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
It will improve over time, but it's Romani.
Okay.
Which is like Russian, but not.
Oh, we have lots of Russians now. I see.
It is like many a time while I had spare time in the circus, while creating master's engines for the rest of my crew for the state of performance. And she shows you the board.
Ceras, what does Ceras's puppet look like? What does Ceras's finger puppet look like?
She hasn't pulled out the puppet yet.
Ceras has not pulled out a puppet. I'm just narrating. I feel like me saying what Ceras says in her own voice, but on.
Okay, I got you.
On paper. So whenever she's writing on her board, it will be her natural voice.
Natural voice. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, that's the narration voice.
Well, that explains the Harlequin attire. Tiram then asks, "How did you get into this mix-up with Kade?"
He saved me. He gave me everything I could. He took care of me. And shows him the board.
Tiram asks, "Okay, and is there a reason that you can't speak?"
Born like this. Shows you.
Tiram nods and continues to all right, and Tiram looks back down at Ceras. "What do you get out of this? What does Kade give you?"
I need money.
Tiram shrugs his shoulder. That seems to be a lot of people's motivations these days.
Mine more dire than most. She shows it.
Tiram ponders and sits quietly. Or not sitting, but
walks.
Right after Ceras shows you the board, Kade intervenes. Up ahead, there's a stopping point. Usually caravans stop here to find a little bit of shade from the sun and the storm, but seems we are in luck. It is empty. He walks you all under a giant stone overpass. It is literally like a rock that is falling over, but it is held up by two large, smaller rocks on the edges. It is like a bus stop made out of rocks.
Is there a water source here?
There is a small oasis, a small pond in the back, right in the crevice. It seems to be filled with crystal clear water.
Ceras opens her bag of holding and fills it to the brim.
Roll me a perception.
Okay, so she walks up to the water and opens her bag of holding at the mouth of the water, and she is going to roll perception, and that's a nat 1.
This is the prettiest water you've seen in forever. Not once in your life have you been stuck in the elements like this. This water is beautiful.
Um, can Tiram inspect the water or like inspect like Ceres while she's
Oh, yeah, I got a nat 1.
Yeah, it's here. Roll me a perception. And what do you do to inspect?
Well, Tiram is just like he was watching Ceres like go to open the bag of holding for the water, and he looks at the water as well, and that was a 16 on perception.
Ooh. You notice that the water isn't as clean as it looks. It looks to have some sort of like moss on the top, but it's pretty far and few between. But it doesn't look as clean as you once thought.
Tiram yells out, "I wouldn't drink that!"
Ceres puts a thumbs up.
Cade hollers after them both. I agree with the paladin.
Michaelo jumps in.
Oh my.
Because he's a
Michaelo.
turtle.
Ceres immediately pulls up the bag as Michaelo jumps in.
All right.
Tiram just turns away.
Luna stares at Michaelo and then once more begins to laugh at his actions.
Michaelo
Cade
then,
just shakes his head.
Michaelo then gets out of the water. With everybody staring at him, he just goes,
Michaelo, are you still wearing your clothes?
Yeah, I am.
Yes, he is drenched. Oh boy.
Michaelo, with everybody looking at him, goes, I'm a turtle, I need water.
Michaelo, do me a favor. Roll me a con save.
That is a 5.
Oh boy. All right. So Cade calls everybody over. Come on. Come on. I've been walking for days. Gather round and I'll answer all your questions. He sits back on a rock and he just looks absolutely defeated. He's been watching the caravan for a day and a half while you slept. He's been walking in a sandstorm, pulling all four of you along. And honestly, it looks like he was injured somehow. It looks like he was injured bad in a fight. He he starts dressing his wounds on his arm. They look like claw marks, and he starts dressing his wounds.
Tiram points. I know no sand did that. What happened to you?
Cade laughs. Our friend here likes to bite in his sleep. It's nothing. He points over to Luna.
What do you mean by that? Luna says.
He shrugs. You're just not the heaviest sleeper, but for somebody that was asleep, you sure are aggressive. All right. He calls everybody over. Puts as he wraps the first aid around his arm, covering scratch wounds. He slams his other hand on his knee. All right, who's first? What do you want to know, and how can Cade Cunningtail help you?
Michaelo looks at him and he goes, I want to know why the mayor of New Yorkshire was there.
Cade laughs. So you finally recognized him, huh? Yeah, that little twerp is quite the screw loose, if you catch my drift.
Well, I had a bump on the head. It finally just came back to me.
What do you know about the mayor, Demon?
I know that I was the last one to see him alive until today.
Wait, Michaelo is the demon?
Michaelo is the demon in a half shell. That is who he was introduced as.
Demon? Questions?
Cade smiles. Not really. He's just famous. You see, our friend here has a bounty.
A bounty?
Michaelo doesn't say anything.
What? You didn't think I'd know? As soon as you came poking around for the Black Boot gang.
Michaelo goes, you sure know a lot about me.
I know a lot about a lot of things. It's kind of in the profession.
Well, how about you tell us about you? Why does everybody in that town hate you?
Well, when you learn a lot of information, a lot of people don't want you to know things. It's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, well
We'll
the
call them we'll call them job hazards.
yeah,
Comes
well
with
the
the
information you
territory,
know
huh?
seems pretty dangerous.
Well, danger is where danger follows, but it's gonna help you, isn't it?
While this is going on,
What
Ceres is
business do
going
you have
around.
with Khrushchev?
Ceres is doing what?
Ceres is going around inspecting everyone's equipment and casting mending on it.
Oh, Ceres is patching everybody up. Well, you see, it wasn't about Khrushchev. That guy just happened to be there. My business tonight, last night, the other night. What day is it? My business with your paladin is simple. He was muscle for the mayor.
Muscle for the mayor of New Yorkshire or Dusty Coin?
New Yorkshire. That's who the kid in the mask was. One Roman Sionis, a man of much money, power, and influence. And the only thing that stops him from being a tyrist, well, is his dog Max. So, I was trying to make a deal. A little bit of money, and he gets his dog back, and everybody wins. He points at Michaelo. That was until the mayor went missing, of course. He uh he leans in. Specific demons took him away in the middle of the night. Last person saw with him was Green. I wonder who that could be.
Michaelo doesn't say anything. He's just really pissed right now.
Luna stares at Michaelo.
Cade stretches out on the rock and lets off a yawn. The real question here is what do you have to do with Khrushchev, there, Paladin? A man of your faith shouldn't be rolling around in the filth with garbage like him.
Hiram looks away. You sure seem to know a whole lot about what I want, so I think you know the answer to that question already.
He says, it's good to hear things out loud. Keep the motives out there. I told you what I want. I'm here for magical items. What are you here for?
Hiram, Hiram looks down. Or he looks to where the area where the relic is like hidden in his armor, and he says, "I wish to bring I wish to bring Khrushchev to the light of Kydros, and make him see the error of his ways. Make him pay penance for all the pain that he's caused."
Luna scoffs.
To you, last but not least, probably the most eccentric one here. What are you doing so far away? I heard legend that every so often a man from over yonder would come into the town of Dusty Coins and he'd pick up rations, masses of rations. This man comes once a year. But we aren't around that time there, are we, friend?
No, we're not around that time.
As you say that, Raitu like nibbles on your toes. He's like playing, he's swiping at your feet and he's nibbling on it.
And
Bucket
what
kind of
time is
walks.
that?
Well, not today. He wasn't due to be here for another couple of months.
So you
Uh,
keep tabs on me as well? Were you expecting this to happen?
I was expecting you to happen. I didn't know when, but it seemed to work out. He looks back over at Tiram. Your fairy dust did me a lot of favors.
Luna twitches when you say that it works out. Okay. He relaxes for a moment. It's okay. All right.
Tiram, at the moment you start relaxing, you feel your blood start to pump really fast in your chest. And I mean, it's almost adrenaline inducing. And in that very moment, you hear the old man from your village. Be calm, my child. We need a leader that can be respectable. You hear this out loud, as if he was there himself.
Hiram
My
looks around in kind of a
whitened.
panicked in a panicked
No,
way.
no, nobody else hears it except for Luna.
My eyes
Does
wide.
Luna?
Oh yeah, no, I hear ghosts. By the way.
Josh.
Anyway,
So
so
what do you do?
my eyes widen, and I look around in utter surprise. Like my skin kind of grows pale because I'm surprised at what I'm hearing.
Your skin already pale.
It is.
Yeah, it gets paler.
He went
No, I'm
from
not
white to
pale. He just he
he went
sent
from
a
ice.
His gray gets grayer.
no.
Yeah.
He sent
No.
this. The gray picture that Ron sent is not the picture that is exactly mine. It's similar.
Oh, well,
So
send
his
it.
gray skin is
including.
brown.
I've been including all of this in my own
Oh my
notes.
goodness.
I've
Hold
been
up
putting
Hold
here.
on,
pictures in my
Simon. I
notes.
got you, Simon. I got
No.
you, Simon. I'll send it to you.
All right.
Hi.
So
I
anybody who has not sent a picture, please send a picture in the character chat and name your character.
Oh fuck, dude! I think. Oh, all right. I'm gonna send it now.
I
I
have
didn't
Tyrion's
know. I thought
picture
I
if you
sent
don't.
it. I should still
Like
have
if you just like Ryan, if you just want me to put like Michaelangelo from the TMNT.
No, I have one.
He does
I just
have
to
a
find
picture.
him.
This is true.
Please
Hold
put
up,
it in the character list because I'm putting it all in my notes. Every time there's a character,
I got you,
pictures
Ryan.
it's in my notes.
Do you have the one that I sent you, Ron?
Yeah, I got it.
All right.
I like visualization.
I do too. I should have already sent these, honestly.
And it's a lot easier for me to do this kind of stuff because I'm not the fucking DM. So Ron, don't worry about keeping track of all this shit. That's what the chats are for.
This is true. I appreciate it.
He's supposed to. He's a DM.
I do keep up with a lot of it. I do have all of this shit everywhere.
While all this dose shit is happening, Michelangelo is just meditating.
Hey, can Ceras roll an investigation on herself?
Sure. Or what are you looking for?
I am looking for. I'll send you a message.
Ooh, scandalous. All right. So.
You love casting spells.
Join the
So
wrong
yeah,
chat.
that is gang.
You love casting spells.
So where were we?
I meant the background picture of the background picture of the cat is not what the cat actually looks like.
That's cool. I crop all the images that I get.
Perfect.
Sweet. Yeah, the ice caddis is actual. Josh, you are hearing voices, and Kade just addressed you directly about your visits. He knows something's up. He doesn't know what's up, but he's confused as to why you're here. He looks at Tiram, and more than anything, sorry, Virginia, fucking with me. More than anything, what is it that you truly want? Is it vengeance? Is it to restore your church's name, or is it simply to do Kydros' will? What makes you a paladin, friend?
I don't see how that's any of your business.
And yet here we are asking all the big questions. My job is simple. I saw my own future, and sadly, it is shared with most of you. He looks at Ceras. He puts up a little heart. He looks back at Tiram, and so be it. Your fortunes are never wrong. This isn't the first time I've sniffed your powder, and this won't be my last. However, I need these ingredients. They mean the most to me. These items will make a magical potion that will cure me of my illness. He looks at Ceras, and hopefully, by the end of this adventure, that kid will be free. He puts up a 2 and a 7 as he says kid. So he looks back at Tarum. You're all here because you're all running from something. He points at he points at Luna, bounty. He points at Michaelo, bounty. And he points at you, Tarum, bounty. Whether you know it or not, your futures are are riddled with nothing but being hunted and misfortune. And it's kind of ironic coming to the man of fortune himself. And he looks at
Tiram
Ceras. Oh, go ahead.
Tiram looks at his armor and then looks back at Kade. I've yet to meet the being who can truly kill me. And he kind of like scoffs at the bounty remark.
Yes, but the world is much bigger than Buena Fortuna, my friend.
Michaelo goes, wouldn't be the first time I've ran away and gotten hunted.
Ooh. Kade looks at you, Michaelo. Are you sure that's what you want to be saying? You know, I heard rumors of a fire.
Michaelo kind of just like...
Kade sits back on his rock. Listen, I'm only going to say this once. You were all in dusty coins, fated that day for one reason or another. I don't know who most of you are, and I don't care for your story, but I know you need something from me. Otherwise, my fortune wouldn't be the way it was. He leans forward, and since you all need something from me, I expect something in return. He throws a bag of gold in the middle of the circle. And still, even though that job was almost a sloppy mess, I am going to pay for your assistance. You win, I win, and it stays strictly business. What do you say?
Luna's still traumatized for a moment, then picks up the gold and goes, I guess it'll be useful for now.
Tiram just like nods his head. He agrees with Luna though.
Michaelo goes, well, I got nothing better to do, so...
Kade taps Ceras on one of the bells. See? Look, we're all a team. And the first place we're going to be going is to find a gift. Oh, shit, what is it? I always say it wrong. Hold up.
Good Yankee? I don't know.
No. I have a list of items. A kipine. We are going to find a kipine, first and foremost, and then we are going to escort it to Dead End. What do you say? And he points at Max. But first, we're taking him somewhere safe. Any questions? He sits back in his rock and he starts wrapping his legs.
Michaelo stands up, getting ready to go.
Michaelo, roll me another con save.
Oh my goodness. 11.
Ooh. Michaelo, you go to stand up, and if only for a moment, you start to feel yourself move very slow. A lot slower than you normally move, but not a whole lot slower. It's not like a dramatic effect. But you do notice you're moving just a bit slower than normal.
I looked at Kade, and I go, what did you do to me?
Cade tilts his head, his floopy ears fall to one side. I've done nothing.
Well, the last time I felt something weird happen to me, it was because of you.
Cade flips his head to the other side. Floopy ears flip to the other side. Again, if it were me, I'd be taking credit for it. But other than the pixie dust, I've got nothing. And I actually walked you all the way here. He taps shoulder at Ceras on the shoulder. This fucking guy. What is this? Brain mush?
Michaelo
Ceras looks suspiciously at Kade and kind of and just like punches him in the shoulder and crosses her arms and looks away from Kade.
Is it really hard, or is it like a little gentle punch?
It's a gentle punch. Ceras looks down and writes, you owe all these people explanations, including me. and shows it.
Ooh. Ooh.
Cade's ears droop, his tail droops. Oh, fine, Ceras. What would you like to know, kid?
Ceres, Ceres puts in her her board. She writes white mask and then shows it to him. Tries to hide it a little bit.
Does Cade notice you're trying to hide it? Is it really obvious that you don't want everyone else to see? Because I will roll an insight for it.
I'm gonna roll a d20, and above 10 is yes, she's trying to hide it, and below 10 that is a 6. So she shows it to you in a manner where others, if they decided to be interested, could look.
Okay. Cade chuckles and he starts reaching into to paste. Open up. Come on, give it back. I know. He starts muttering to himself as he reaches into his bag of holding, and he quickly starts shuffling around. His bag of holding lets off a little bit of a growl. And he pulls out the mask really quickly before his bag of clothing shuts close. You little bugger. He's holding the mask in his hand, Ceras, and he shows it to you. See? Nothing to it. Just a simple mask.
Ceres at that point writes black mask, white mask on it and shows it to everybody.
Ooh.
Luna looks confused.
Yeah, Tyrion kind of cocks his head and he says, "You're saying that mask's got something to do with the mayor of New Yorkshire?"
Ceres rolls her eyes and underlines white and black.
Michaelo perched up his head at newest Yorkshire as he was walking away.
Michaelo's been walking away for like 2 minutes. And he's like, wait, you guys are still talking? You guys are still conversating?
He walks back over.
Silly goober.
Cade looks at the board. He looks at the mask. All right. I'm sure you can handle the answers. Why not? He looks a little nervous. Well, you see, Michaelo, what was the mayor like when you met him?
He was like any other guy, the mayor. Everybody liked him.
Sweet boy, right? Soft kid, well-mannered?
From what I remember.
That, my friend, is not Roman Sionis. That is an elf by the name of April O'June. And
how do you spell that?
The month of April, June. The month of June.
Oh, okay.
Yes. That, my friend, is April O'June. And without the mask, that's all he ever is. A kid who loves his dog and his city. The kid who rebuilt all of Newish Yorkshire after the Yorks invasion left that city leveled. Hundreds of thousands of humans died that day 5 years ago. And April O'June brought it back. Back and better than ever before. He points at the mask. You see, this mask has a sister. This mask contains souls of the dead. He says, when I wear it, I turn into somebody I've seen die. He flips the mask back down, but you see, the white mask is the opposite. When he wears it, he's got to be alive for the mask's personality to take over. That, my friend, is Roman Sionis. He starts going through the gold in the bag and picking out 100 pieces. That, Michaelo, is your cut of the last job, and I will be keeping it for my information.
Michaelo doesn't really care. He doesn't acknowledge that, but he goes, "How is this the first time I'm hearing about this?"
Well, you see, while the mayor had his dog, Everything was fine. Max is a special boy, aren't you, Max? Max has been sitting here quietly sleeping next to Kade the whole time. Max's ears perk up. Roof! And Kade scratches him on the chin. And Bucket walks over after seeing Cade scratch Max and tries to like shimmy next to him to get scratches too. Cade does not scratch Bucket. He gives Bucket a little head pat, and Bucket looks really sad, guys.
What is Raito doing?
Raito has been secretly stalking Bucket. Everywhere Bucket has been walking in this cave, Raito has been like shadowing him, trying to pounce. Every now and then he gets out, he like jumps and swats at the leg. So right now he's hiding behind Ceras, getting ready to pounce on Bucket. And he's hiding behind Ceras, so he's not well hidden,
Mm-hmm.
But Cade looks at Michaelo, and well, Max is kind of like a therapy dog. He keeps the mask away from April, but it seems your friends, the ones, they have other plans. He
Michaelo
looks at okay.
takes in the information, and he's like, "So where are we going now?"
I just told you we're gonna go get the first item on my list: a Keepine's fur, and more importantly, a Keepine's antler. It's not gonna be easy, and it's probably not gonna be pretty, but it is the easiest on this list. So I suggest we start there.
Michaelo goes, "Well, then let's go," and starts walking away again.
Kay just watches as Michaelo walks away. You do realize I've been walking for days. Can we sit a little longer, please?
Michaelo goes, "No."
Ceras looks at Michaelo and puts her hands together and kind of in a begging motion. Please.
Luna asks, Michaelo, do you even know where you're going?
Michaelo goes, "I don't care. I'll find it somehow."
Cade puts a finger up. You do realize the item is for me, right? It makes no sense to get the item without me.
Well, if you're gonna sit here, then I'm gonna go get it, and I'll bring it back.
Michaelo, roll me another con save, actually, before I forget.
That is a 13.
You got lucky. Michaelo, you feel your body slowly stiffening up. All your muscles feel tight.
I look back at Kade and I go, "What did you do to me? No bullshit this time."
Again, I blew fairy dust and you saw the future. That was the end of my magical influence. God's honest truth. You can roll me an insight to see if he's lying.
Yeah, let me roll an insight. That is a 18.
Oh.
For the first time this entire conversation, matter of fact, for the first time since meeting Cade, he feels genuine. Like he's not dragging your chain.
Then can I roll a perception to see what's going on with my body?
Sure. Or I'll do you one better. Roll me a perception.
Okay. That is a 22.
Michaelo, as your muscles start to stiffen up, and as you kind of start to panic to yourself, you start looking around and you notice that there are actually a bunch of small animals in the pond. They look stiff as boards, and there's a strange moss covering them.
Go, that damn water.
Cade looks confused. You didn't actually drink the water, right?
No. Of course not.
Good. Because that would be silly. Cade slaps
Did you
his
absorb
face.
it through your skin? Luna asks.
I don't know. Michaelo looks at Kade and goes, "Why would that be bad?"
He says, well, that's a fountain of petrification. Sorcerers use it for potions, but usually people know not to drink it. The moss gets into your lungs and hardens, and your whole body becomes stiff as a board. The only way to get it out is by letting everyone pee on you. It's like a jellyfish sting.
Michaelo looks at Tyrim and goes, "Hurry up!"
Hiram
Cade
scoffs.
burst into laughter.
Luna
Tyrim
is
absolutely
crying.
scoffs.
Ceras writes on her board, skin contact or oral?
Cade can't breathe. It's skin contact only.
Ceras continues to fill her bag of holding to maximum completion.
Interesting. Cade wipes the tear out of his eye. I'm just kidding. You need to drink a little bit of actual water to clear the moss out of your lungs. Uh,
Does Michaelo have water?
does Michaelo have water? You've been traveling for a few days in the desert, into the city. You didn't stop and get rations, and now you've been unconscious for a day and a half, back into the desert. How well did you...
So, it's the moss that causes petrification?
Yes.
And the only cure for petrification via this moss is skin contact piss.
No, that was a joke. It was
No,
he,
it was a
he was
joke.
fucking. Yeah, he was fucking with Michaelo.
Oh,
It's just
okay.
you have to flush the moss out with actual water to rehydrate your body.
I have rations.
How many rations do you have?
Uh,
I'd imagine in your rations you'd have a little bit of water, right? You are a well-trained ninja.
yeah. It says I have 10.
Okay, yeah, you're good.
Then I use one.
All right, Michaelo, how do you pull out your rations? What do you do with these rations? What do they look like? What do they taste like? What's in them?
I kind of
You
just
you came.
reach into my shell
Oh,
and I grab a sack
yes.
and I kind of toss it back and forth between my hands, and then I just pour it over myself.
Nice. I like it. The moss on your
Luna
body.
once
Go ahead.
Luna looks at him dumbfounded at where he had just pulled that little sack out of.
Cade sees the stupid look on your face, and he leans over to
Yeah.
Ceras. Both of these guys have never left home. They probably haven't virginities.
Ceras blushes and punches Cade.
Cade crosses his arm and lets off like a heavy nose breath.
Does Michaelo notice the look that Luna is giving him?
Absolutely.
Michaelo kind of just looks at him and goes, "What's that look for?"
What the fuck, dude? Where the hell did you pull that shit from? Why the hell did you pull that shit? What? You know what? No, I don't want to know. You do your thing, man.
Shell.
Luna turns, walks away.
Cade looks at Luna. Have you never seen a turtle before?
No.
Well, Mr. Luna, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Because you seem to not know a lot. Even more than the turtle over there.
Michaelo kind of just is like, "What the fuck, dude?" but it's not. He
Cade
doesn't
shrugs.
say it, but
Cade.
he's just putting his hands up, like, "What the hell?"
He's got the look on his face.
Yeah, but Cade shrugs back in the exact same face. Oh, man, what the fuck?
Is
Luna.
there any? Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Is there anything around here? So this is an oasis. Is there any wood, trees, or is it just scrub brush?
We're under a giant rock, aren't we?
Yeah, there's a couple taller batches of scrub rushes, and there is one singular coconut-esque tree. It doesn't have anything on it other than a couple of big leaves, but that's what it looks like.
Ceras takes cuttings of the drier scrub, and starts a fire with their cantrip firebolt.
Ooh. A small fire
And
starts underneath of the rock, right on top of the scrub. Where did you put it? Is it in the middle of everybody, or is it on like a wall on the tree?
it's pretty much just in front of the water. So what I'm picturing in my head is there's this overcrop, and then halfway under the overcrop is the start of the lake, and then it goes out into the sun, kind of, and there's just scrub brush and then the single tree. Am I
Yep.
getting that?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's about
So
what it
she
is. Yeah.
So she starts a small fire with the burning material of various brush, and she snaps at Kade and then writes cooking pot on
Cade,
her board.
Cade walks over to the fire and pulls out a pot out of his bag of holding, and he hands it to you. What are we cooking? Half pint?
She pours some of the water out of her bag of holding into the pot and waits for it to boil.
As this
Well,
is happening, can Michaelo climb the tree?
absolutely.
Okay.
Mhm.
He's climbing the tree.
Michaelo, you start climbing this tree, and it starts to lean really hard to one side the higher you get up. Do you
I
climb all the way to the top?
I'm trying to get one of the giant leaves. So yeah.
You get almost to the top. Roll me a con save. Matter of fact, just roll me a flat d20.
Flat d20.
You get a. It's going to be over under 10.
5.
The tree snaps as you approach the top, and you eat sand.
Damn.
You just snap this poor defenseless tree in half for no reason.
And then I
Ceres.
walked over to the snap part, and I just rip off one of the leaves, and I put it in my shell.
Oh yeah. Luna, Tiram, is anybody watching this? Because Kate and Ceres are looking at boiling water.
Luna is still watching Michelangelo in utter surprise, but also he's keeping quiet because he doesn't want to say anything about his past.
Tiram, what are you doing?
I guess Tiram was watching Michaelo.
Absolutely.
Definitely
don't doubt it.
confused.
Me too. Ceres, as you boil the water, you start to notice a couple things like kind of popping out, kind of like grease. And you also start to notice that the moss that is next to you where the fire is cooking in the pot is starting to float away.
Okay. Ceres dips Ceres dips down a what does Ceres have that is like fucking give me a second. Ceres dips down her water skin, which I'm assuming which is empty after chugging all of the water, into this freshly boiled water, and drinks it.
It is kind of like spring water at this point, and you feel very refreshed.
Ceres waits for something to happen.
Michaelo
All right.
rips off another leaf and sticks it in his shell.
All right.
Luna walks over to the little gnome and uses a little bit of ray of frost to chill the drink.
Ceres looks up at Luna, smiles and nods, and continues to take another sip.
Michaelo comes back over and goes, "What are you guys doing?"
Does anything happen, DM?
Roll me a con save.
That is a 17.
No, nothing happens.
All right. Ceres nods her head and writes on her board, "I think if it's boiled, it is safe to drink."
Cade looks at you and, yeah, I'd agree to that. Probably. I don't know. I usually try to avoid these places. Uh, he looks over at Tiram. Oi, are you done brooding, or do you have any more questions?
For now, I'm satiated.
Good.
Ceres writes on the board, where on to next?
Cade opens up. He pulls out a small leather book, and he opens to a specific page in it. And in the page, you all see this. Soon, it's going to be in maps. This is how his book looks. It is scribbled in. There's all kinds of notes. And on this page specifically, you all see a small map of Evernord. It's got a bunch of notes and everything's written in abbreviations, but overall, you get a general layout of the world. This is the continent of Evernord.
Michaelo goes, "Is this what a map is supposed to look like?"
Cade looks at you fucking puzzled. How do you find your way around, if not with a map?
Michaelo reaches in his shell and he pulls out the poorly drawn map that he got from Buena Fortuna. It goes, I have this map. It goes to Buena Fortuna. I thought this is how maps are supposed to look.
Cade looks at your very poorly drawn map and he looks at you with all seriousness. Man, someone really did want you to get wherever you're going. Also, he kind of tilts his head. Aren't you from Newish Yorkshire? Why are you going to Buena Fortuna?
He goes, Michael goes, "Oh, I'm not going. I won this in like a rock paper scissors battle."
Cade's just puzzled. Do you think he wants you to come back? What does this map mean to you, friend?
Michael goes, "I don't know," and just puts it back in his shell.
Cade nods. I guess we'll see when we get there. All right.
Luna puts his hand on his forehead and isn't still utterly dumbfounded by what he's hearing.
Cade looks back at his map. I'm not sure why the goddess of fortune and fate decided I was traveling with you. He looks very perplexed. He's like staring blankly at the map. He has no idea why or how prophecy would make us end up together.
Kiram snarkily from the back. Well, if the goddess of Kydros wills it, then there is a purpose to it.
Cade rolls his eyes. Oh, don't I know it. Tired of hearing those words. He looks back at you. So, you're what? Where do we need to go for one, Mr. He pauses for a second. Your name is Tiram, right?
Correct. Tiram Nemasora.
Cade puts his hand out. Officially, it's nice to meet you.
Tiram looks down at his hand and then looks back at Cade.
Cade slowly curls his fingers back up. I see, not much of a hugger. Anyways, he looks at Michaelo, and your name?
Michaelo.
Interesting. Well, very original. He kind of tilts his head. Your father must be very proud? Turtle?
He was very proud of me. Until he died.
Cade quickly looks at Luna. Okay, moving on. And Mr. Mountain Man himself.
Luna of Yisildras.
Interesting. And you're from the village, I assume.
Yeah. The village.
Cade
What
looks a little
village would
puzzled.
that be exactly?
Yisildras Keep.
Is that how we're saying it?
I don't know. How in the heck are you supposed to say it, Ron?
I was thinking more Ysildra, but Yazel's
Ysildras.
Ysildra's keep, yeah.
Okay. Ysildras Keep. There we go.
I like it.
Interesting.
I'm gonna be honest. I thought about how you said it before, and that made me want to kind of like kill myself.
Hey, listen, man. I had no idea how the heck I was supposed to be saying that in the first place.
I know. My fault.
Say it one more time so I can remember how to say it for me now.
You lived in Ysildra's keep.
There we go. You still just keep.
Also, all of you roll me a history.
History.
I
Wait,
feel
do I
like
have
any.
history, even though I got a
I
19?
got a
No, you're from Josh. You're from the village.
I
Go
got a
ahead.
10.
Oh.
All right.
That is a 17.
Dirty 20.
Tirum and Ceras. Man, Ryan, your rolls are not on your side, bud. Holy shit. Um, Tirum and Ceras. You both have always grown up in very different places. Ceras, you were part of a wandering circus, and of course you'd heard tales of a white dragon by the name of Ysildra, who was rumored to have disappeared hundreds of years ago. Tiram, you are a paladin under the order of fuck, the goddess,
You
and
do it on
of
purpose.
no, I swear it's my dyslexia. I swear. The god as a paladin who served in the Church of Fortune, specifically in the branches of charity and giving, you did travel a lot as a wandering knight for your sect. And of course, you would have heard stories about the defeat of an ancient dragon by the name of Ysildra somewhere by Dead End.
Um, I've heard tale of Isildur's Keep, but I've never been there myself.
It's a secluded place.
Kate rolls his
Not
My
eyes.
chapter's crusades never
welcome
took me
there.
there. You
I
said
doubt you.
all are welcome?
No, I said not many are welcome.
Ah.
Tiram,
The
you said what?
missionaries of Kydros were known all across the lands.
I've never heard of Kydros in my life until today.
Josh, roll
Tiram
me
is
history.
Tiram is
What's it
offended.
called? Not today. What's it
Wait,
called?
wait,
Until
wait,
I
wait,
met
wait,
you.
wait, wait, wait,
Wait.
wait, wait, Josh, roll me a history, Josh.
Oh
You
God.
do you are your village liaison. You do leave
Oh crap.
every once in a
17.
while. Josh, you would know of a batch of monasteries who time to time try to give you fortune. They would basically like side hustle you on the street trying to give you what felt like a pipe dream about all your dreams coming true.
Oh, I
They,
know of your sect, at least a little
they,
bit of it.
they
They
were
kind
kind
of
of
try
like
to peddle me random shit.
yeah, they're kind of like Jehovah's Witness.
Ow. The order of Kydros was never to peddle false narratives. It was to help the poor. It was to enlighten others of what they could potentially become.
Cage
It
shakes
was
his head.
never. Oh, well, go
No,
ahead.
no, no, please, my bad.
It was never meant to be anything more than a helpful guide towards our loving spirit who guides us all to our destinies.
Loving
Cage
spirit
shakes.
that guides us to our destinies. What a load of crap is that? Take control of your own destiny and live your life.
Cage shakes his head.
There-
Well, you know the church is known to peddle good fortune, or at least it was. He looks at Luna. That was a little aggressive, friend. Don't you believe in deities yourself?
I wish I didn't, but I do.
Hiram scoffs at Luna. You don't understand the principle behind Kydros. It's not about following a thread of destiny. It's about showing you what you could become. But I see that concept as too otherworldly for someone like you.
Michaelo goes, "Oh, like that dust."
Tiram gets a little angry, but he does nod his head and he's yes, kind of like the dust.
Luna
Leans
has
over.
pulsing out of his head after what Michaelo just said, and he shakes his head or nods his head in agreement to what Tyrim is saying.
Cade leans over to Ceres. They're a lot more alike than they think, I think.
Does
Ceres,
Michaelo hear that?
Roll me a perception. He kind of whispers it.
versus your stealth.
18.
Yes. Oh, you're right. You're
Wow.
right, Ceres. Let me get that good old stat block back up. Kade rolled. Kade rolled on that one. Huh, okay.
Oof.
Kade
to see it.
whispers. Kade whispers over at Ceras. Yeah, I think they're a lot more alike than they'd care to admit. And he makes direct eye contact with Michaelo as he says it, open mouthed and almost unblinking. Hmm. He lets off a little cough and stands straight up without ever breaking eye contact.
Michaelo matches the eye contact and never blinks whatsoever either, and also stands up.
Cade, a little confused and unwavering, continues to stare, and he's uncomfortable with the amount of eye contact that's happening here. And
Michaelo steps a little closer, matching the eye contact, never wavering.
Cade whispers down to Cade says it down to Ceras. If he takes another step towards me, grab the gun out of my belt.
Ceras looks sweatily towards the gun.
Cade never breaks eye contact though.
Ceras' fingers twitch.
Michaelo goes to Tiram. If she grabs that gun, you stab her. And Michaelo takes one step forward, never breaking eye contact.
Ceras stares at Tiram, and is like pleading looking eyes.
Tiram looks between Ceras and Michaelo. This shit needs to stop.
Hey, Cade blinks. Yeah, he's right. He looks at Michaelo for a second, pauses, and he says, he brings it out of me. I can feel them. My brain cells depleting. He starts slowly making eye contact with Michaelo again.
Michaelo has never wavered. He is still standing there, even after he said something.
I think there needs to be opposing intimidation checks here.
I'm not intimidating.
Right. Yeah,
I'm
true.
just looking.
It's not intimidating if it's pure autism. It's not intimidating. Pure autism.
The pure autism is the intimidation.
Oh, you know what? Michaelo, roll me an intimidation and I'll roll against you.
Intimidation.
No, it's not, because it's not intimidation to him. He's just purely autistic.
True. Yeah.
You're right. Oh.
Luna walks up and puts her hand on Michaelo and says, "All right, buddy, it's all right. It's good. We're all good now."
Michaelo whispers to Luna, "Why is everybody getting so worked up? I'm just staring."
Hey, leans in. You should stop that. It's a bad habit, and it makes my trigger finger itch.
Michaelo goes, "I'll try."
Cade,
Luna says, "Thank you."
Cade
Ceras
mumbles,
looks at Cade
try harder.
in a very confused look, and it's not only confusion, but it's kind of like it's not like an angry confusion. It's like a how do I understand this person confusion.
Tiram is over it. He looks towards Cade. Are you done with your rest?
Cade rubs his shoulder. He kind of slowly breaks eye contact with Michaelo. Yeah, I suppose I am. He looks down at Ceras. Stay close to me. We will shoot him. He looks back at Michaelo.
What, did you say that? You say that?
Yes.
Michaelo looks directly at Ceras.
Ceras looks back. Ceras looks back in a unsure, fully unsure, imagine, if you will, in your own head, if there was a very intimidating, hulking autistic person in front of you, and the person next to you said, we will kill him if we have to, but you're having very profound moral quandaries about killing a person who doesn't understand their transgressions.
Cade is not going to sit around to figure out your life story. Cade just wants to get this over with now.
Michaelo claps his hands and he does, "Okay, let's go."
Cade looks...
Ceras kind of smiles. Ceras kind of smiles at Michaelo. This is a very
fun person.
Weirdly forgiving person. that is in front of Ceras, which she has not encountered in such a long time.
That is true. Ceres is known much scorn, but not a whole lot of. Yeah, fair enough.
Immediately forgiving.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tirama. Never mind. Cade looks down at Ceres and hands him the shreds of his jacket. Would you do the honors, please?
Ceras throws the shreds onto the fire and boils enough water to fill her water skin.
Did Kade mean for her to mend it?
Cade did mean for her to mend it. He looks as you burn his favorite jacket. It starts popping in the fire. The water keeps boiling, and a burnt smell of leather
Ceras is staring deeply into the fire. If Cade wants it to stop, he can stop her at any moment.
Cade watches Ceras really get into looking at the fire. He looks at everyone standing around him. He puts both hands on his.
Cade, you see images dancing in Ceras's eyes. It seems like she's watching a circus show.
Hold on. So is the leather jacket just sitting there smoldering on the flame?
Yeah, the remains of my jacket are on fire at this point. Cade didn't even hurry to fix it because he's just awestruck by the fact that she threw it into the fire. A is dumbfounded.
Luna reaches out, grabs the tattered jacket, stomps it out, and proceeds to use mending, and says, "Don't say I don't do anything for you."
Ceras opens her eyes super wide and goes up to you, Luna, and grabs your hands and wait.
Yeah. Before this goes any further, Josh, how does your mending look? What does it look like? How do you?
Yeah, what does it look like?
So the way that I imagine the mending looking like is. The magic that I have kind of looks like string and weaves and fills the tattered holes into what it looked like originally.
A blue aura breaks out from Cade's jacket as it starts to self-stitch itself together. Unlike Ceres's needle and thread, these are fine lines of mana crossing over, almost as if it was spiderwebs.
The weave
itself is like a spider trickling down a crevice or a crack, making its home, and then the jacket becomes whole again.
Ceras rushes up to Luna and grabs one of his hands with a huge smile on her face, sparkling eyes, and is just kind of bouncing up and down as she's like shaking your hand and pointing at the jacket, and she's just absolutely awestruck.
Luna says, "Use your words. I don't understand."
As you say this, Cade brushes past you, shoulder to shoulder. Don't be insensitive, Dick, as he takes his jacket.
I'm like, hey, dude, she can write words, can't she?
Ceras completely ignores the entire interaction and starts writing down at 100 words per minute. How does your mending work? How does it do? Was the weave like? And it's just like completely like you're just seeing chalk on board as she erases the beginning of her board and keeps writing.
Cade walks off to where Tyram is standing. Cade walks off as Ceras bombards you with words as fast as a typewriter.
Michaelo is standing there and he's like, in his head, he's thinking, this girl is absolutely nuts. She is totally off her rocker.
Michaelo is chaotic, but he doesn't know he's chaotic. That's my favorite part about it.
Yeah.
So Luna looks at Ceras and tells her that it's a blessing from the god that they worship, or that his people had worshipped.
In his voice,
basic skill set, if you'd say.
How does
he say it?
Yeah, get into it. Don't be afraid to get into character. You don't have to describe yourself in the third person.
Okay. All right.
I believe in the dream.
It's a few skills that we learn from the goddess that we worship in the mountains.
Who is this? Who are they? They are amazing.
Fuck, I gotta find that name again.
Yes, you do, Ron. I remember.
Josh, go with your gut. Go with your
Go
gut
with
right
my
now,
gut.
and it will be what it is. Go with your gut.
I'm gonna call her Shatra.
Shaktra?
Shatra.
Shatra.
Shatra. I'm gonna type that.
Please do.
Dude, put the K in that. Put the Shaktra. Put the K
Yes,
in that.
put the K in that. Hell, Simon,
Because
you
that
like
is-
K.
That
You
is
like K.
very close.
You spell
No,
K.
because Shatra is very close to a Rakshasa.
Oh, that is true.
I put in the what was it? The character list name. I probably had to figure out a freaking image for that soon.
Yeah, I'll leave it to you, friend.
It's the goddess Shatra's gift, one of the basic skill sets that we learn.
As you say,
Amazing! That is so amazing! How many years does it take? How do you work through it? I love everything that you just did. The weaves, they were so important. Oh my goodness, they were so cool. Holy shit! Oh my god! I think I could bust
I
this.
take the board from
you.
her hand and I lift it above her head.
She's not bothered. She is not bothered. She's still jumping up and down.
I put my hand on top of her head to hold her down on the ground, and I look at Kade and say, "Do something, please."
Cade smiles and shakes his head. You see, when Ceras likes something, Ceras likes something. The only way out is to get through it, bucko. You better answer those questions. At the same time, as soon as you said Shaktra, Raitu began purring at your feet and kind of nuzzling your toes. So this whole encounter, you had this tiger cub loving on you.
I look down at Raitu and I'm like, oh, so now you want to come to me. Now I look over at Tiram.
Tiram, do you notice?
Huh?
I'm sorry. Run that back. I'm sorry.
So
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So Raito is starting to purr at my feet when I said Shaktra. So I say it's nice of you to start purring to me now, and I look over at you because Raito has been fucking all over your ass for like the past.
Is that jealousy here? Is that just jealousy?
Yes, it's absolutely fucking jealousy.
Tiram just shrugs his shoulders and like gives Luna a thumbs up. Like it doesn't bother him that he's that mad at him.
Raitu gives you a little wink, Tiram. You see the cat looks at you and winks.
Raitu winks?
Yes. Raitu is an intelligent creature.
Alright, I gotta make a new thing for Raitu.
Michaelo
look at it! It thinks it's people!
Michaelo walks over to Tiram and he looks at him dead serious and goes, "We need to have a talk later," and then walks away.
Close? How close do you get to Kade before you walk away?
He hears it.
No, but like physically, how close do you get?
Oh, like a foot.
Oh. Okay, so it's not like an invasion of like his bubble.
No.
All right, Kade. Wait, that was the Kade or was that the Tiram?
It was the Tiram.
Oh, well, I'm shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, my bad.
Tiram fucking looks at Michaelo and Tiram is puzzled. Tiram is puzzled because Michaelo literally just told him that and then walks away. and Tiram like crosses his arms and he's just like, all right, I guess we'll talk later. Like he thinks that in his head.
Kade mouths at you, Tiram. You're making friends, and he gives you a little thumbs up as he mouths that at you.
Tiram goes back to thinking about the ghost that he heard.
Ooh,
That's right. He's been thinking about it the whole time.
Ceras is still jumping at Luna.
Luna is still just sitting there with the board above his hand, just breathing.
Ceras hands Luna a kind of like broken in half pencil, a carpenter's pencil, and like his both hands either side, shaking it in his face. Well, not in his face because she's like 3 feet tall, but
right,
shaking it,
shaking it. Luna sighs and casts mending on the pencil.
Ceras is doing this and starts writing fervently in her notebook.
As soon as Ceras looks down to start writing, Kade puts his jacket on, comes over and picks her up by like the neck of her shirt.
She does not even acknowledge. She doesn't acknowledge she's still writing.
Kade walks over to Bucket and sits you down as he ties a little rope to his spirit mouth. All right, then. I guess we should be hitting the old dusty trail.
Tiram unfolds his arms. It's about time, and he walks over and mounts his beast.
I have a question real quick. So I was looking at mending, and it was talking about objects, right? So does Bucket count as an object?
Yes, yes, it does. It is a construct.
Oh, okay. But... I was gonna say he's a construct, which, if you read the text, technically counts as an object, but there's some specific rules to that.
Interesting. Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
This will be interesting. This is okay. This is interesting.
but also because of what Ron has been saying about Bucket. The nature of Bucket, the stone that is powering Bucket. No, I'm not gonna.
No. But I was gonna say, is Ceras like scribbling this at everybody? Did Luna ask about Bucket?
No, I haven't asked about Bucket, but I was thinking about it because but an object, and I was thinking about
you'll find answers in the plot, my friend.
Yeah, but Ceras has been taking very close notes of Bucket's interactions with people, and of course she's seen this kind of stuff before, but I feel like for Dungeons and Dragons purposes, she's noticing it now.
Yes, it's never stood out. It's never stood out so much because Ceras hasn't actually interacted with people in such a close manner before.
Exactly.
All right, so if I was to want to observe Bucket, would I roll a perception for that?
Yeah.
Investigation.
An investigation. It would be an investigation.
Do you want to actually like pay attention and look, or are you just trying to notice things about Bucket?
I'm just trying to notice things about him because I'm curious. Since I fixed her little pencil that's been broken, I'm looking at her machine, and I'm wondering if it has like scratches or not bruises, but scratches.
And the pencil wasn't broken. She snapped it in half in front of you. And
yeah. And I fixed it. But I'm just wondering the condition of Bucket.
Bucket's got wear and tear. Okay, I'll take this as Bucket's owner. Bucket has wear and tear. Bucket has, scratch marks. Actually, yeah, since we have met, Bucket has taken a lot of scratches from Raito. Raito. Like Bucket has scratch marks all along his legs. Sorry, I don't want to misgender Bucket. Bucket has taken plenty of scratches along their legs. I don't think anything. Oh, no. And a huge amount of scratches on their faceplate, the one that's facing up. So Bucket doesn't actually have a big barrel on them. That's kind of just like a representation of what he can hold. But he's like got a flat top. And there's scratches all across the top of it from where Raito was holding on to him when he ejected him off the ceiling.
All right. So I see all of this and I observe all of this. Ron, do I need to roll to mend bucket?
I would probably prefer you just ask the men bucket.
Oh, well, I just wanted to do it as a favor instead of asking because she was freaking out about it.
No. Mending is a spell repairs a single break or tear in an object. You touch
Okay.
such as a broken chain link, two halves of a broken key, a torn cloak, or a leaking wineskin. As long as the break or tear is no longer than 1 foot in any dimension, you mend it, leaving.
Fair enough. Okay. So does that mean I could mend his legs though? Because they have scratches on them. You mended Tiram's armor earlier.
I think Ron, that is up to you because technically it says single break or tear, but it's not really a tear, it's a scratch.
Yeah.
I'll say you can mend like a cluster of scratches on one of Bucket's legs. The same way that Ceras kind of fixed the cluster of scratches on Tiram's armor from your cat.
Ceras,
then I'll fix up his face a little
Luna,
bit.
you can tell that Ceras does not care because Bucket has obviously worked with, like, there's scratches on all of his legs. He has worked with circus animals before.
Fair enough. I'll still do it to his legs though. Keep them nice and pristine.
As Kade puts his goggles back on, he says, "All right, then we're off to do a bit of monster slaying for these magical items." He chuckles and he looks at all of you. Does anyone else have anything they'd like to get off the cable before we face almost unbearable heat yet again? He kind of looks really defeated that he has to go back out in this fucking sandstorm like this.
Ceras casts. Hold on. Ceras casts absorb elements if the DM will allow it over the party to negate fire damage.
Read me absorb.
The spell captures some of the incoming energy and lessens its effects on you and storing it for your next melee attack. You have resistance to the triggering damage type until the start of your next turn. Also, the first time you hit with a melee attack on your turn, the target takes an extra 1d6 damage of the triggering type, and the spell ends. So what I would like to do is cast Absorb Elements on the party. Truthfully, it's a self-cast first level spell, but I'd like to cast it on the party to absorb some of the heat of the sun in order to not have exhaustion.
For flavor, for flavor of the story, I will let you do it. It will not affect anything in combat if there is any heat related damages, though.
Excellent.
So you all feel a gentle, cool break over you, like the very outside of your skin, and it feels like as if as somebody had turned down the heat just a little bit. You dropped from like 92 to a crisp 75.
Ceras waves her needle while she's holding her ball of yarn in her other hand, and she pokes each of you. Drawing a little bit of blood. And you immediately feel cooler.
Thanks, Ceras.
Hiram kind of jumps at the break, but then, like, relaxes.
She does not do it for Michaelo.
Damn.
Michaelo doesn't even notice.
Michaelo's in a shell.
Well, is he?
I mean, he's not in his shell, but he's got a shell.
In a shell, yeah.
Yeah.
He's a turtle in the desert.
You are. This is true.
Yeah.
I guess the tism is that strong, huh?
God.
And then she thinks, and then she thinks on it. You guys keep walking for a while. She thinks on it, and then she comes back and stabs you too.
No, the party leaves the Oasis bus stop, for lack of better words, and we begin trudging along in the midst of the sandstorm. Everyone but Michaelo feels right as rain. Michaelo, this heat is actually unbearable. It is peak of the day, and you're kind of dying. The water that you drank really dried you out, and if you didn't cure it, it was gonna turn like it was gonna dry you out to a mummy status.
I
Uh,
have a
Ceres,
counter.
Ceres gave Michaelo a stab after. I just wanted to put forth the idea that Ceres was not happy with Michaelo, but thinks he's just very autistic.
no, yeah. I wanted to put it out there that before Ceres actually pokes him, Michaelo is
Oh,
hot as shit. You start kind of dying a little
I
bit.
have a counter
It's
to that though. Turtles
oh.
light the sun, so it actually feel pretty good for them.
You told me
Yeah.
you were like a box turtle though. Those are more like
They light the sun.
I was thinking they were in more, damp and wet places.
Not bots
It is
turtles.
great. Now I have to look up an animal. All right. Hold up.
Bots turtles are on the land all the time. You see them on the
But
road, and they're walking on the
they're
hot asphalt.
yes, but there's usually a source of water.
Water. Yeah,
They're
they live in
turtle.
they
They're
live in
amphibious.
forest, grasslands, and marshes. They come from more moist areas. They're often found by ponds, streams, and have heavy rainfall. Being in a dried out desert is probably terrible for your
Yeah,
skin.
man, you're kind of fucked right now.
Yeah, you're absolutely bacon. I might not be a zoologist, but I know that some turtles
actually,
do not like extreme.
I would like to point towards a person who is heavily involved in reptiles. Turtles absorb water through their skin, so I think they got a nice good drink from the lake.
Well,
The,
see, that's
the
the
lake,
issue, right? That's what
the
I was
lake, the lake
also
was
saying.
the lake was drying him out. That's why he was stiffening up.
Oh,
That's yeah.
The lake was gonna cause petrification. It was like extreme salting, basically. The moss dries you out
wait,
until you
hold on. It's extreme salting, but when Ceres boiled the never mind then.
you killed the moss, or the moss got
Yeah,
started
well,
flying out.
I could have. I might have done that, but also I got a high con score.
Yeah.
This is metagaming. This is metagaming.
That
Go ahead.
as fuck.
Didn't you also like suck up the shit too?
No,
Yeah, I've got a full
I
bag
thought
of holding full of this.
That's
this
what I'm
water.
talking about.
no,
Yeah,
no.
oh, shit.
I'm saying that Ceres boiled the water, and when she did, it started. I told you that the moss started moving away, and that some of like stuff started popping out like
Oily
grease.
started coming out. Right.
Yeah. If you didn't boil it, then yeah,
But
you've got a bag full of tainted water.
What I'm saying is, Ron, don't say anything. But the water seemed okay while I was boiling it, and that's only after Ceres got a high con score. So Ceres certainly believes the water is good to
It's
drink,
fine.
but
Oh.
it might not be.
All
no.
I'm saying is Ceres also used her bag of holding to suck up
To
that
carry a shit
that
ton
shit's
of that water.
gonna be
I
useful
see.
later.
You Josh. Ceres just thinks it's water, bro. Oh damn, yeah, okay, I see what you're saying, Simon. Okay. Michaelo, a couple minutes after leaving the rock, you do feel a cool breeze drift over you and a slight prick in like one of the creases of your shell, and you notice Ceres walking away.
I know.
Or does Ceres walk away?
Sorry, say that again.
I said, as the heat starts to fade, he notices that Ceres just pricked him. We've been walking for a couple of minutes.
Ceres pricks Michaelo and walks beside him. And she looks up at Michaelo and gives a thumbs up.
Michaelo kind of bends over and pats her head.
How to talk to little people.
Ceres smiles at you, Michaelo.
But Michaelo kind of fucks up and goes, "Thanks, kid."
Oh.
Ceres loses the smile, but is kind of like regains half a smile and looks like eyes of a little bit pity and keeps walking forward.
Michaelo doesn't notice the pity. He thinks that he did pretty good in that situation.
Hell yeah. Kade,
Keep in mind, Ceras. So gnomes live for a long time. Ceras is like basically the age of a early college student. She's not old enough to. Yeah, she's very young for a gnome.
So like 19, 20?
She's like she's 25 in gnome age. She's like 18, 19 in regular age.
Human years. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. All right.
As the party begins pushing forward in the desert, Kade walks next to Tiram. So, you're a little less angry now that you got all those bloody answers? And I'm not one to just give up information for free.
Seeing as I'm doing the service for you, I consider that payment. At least part of it.
Kade looks, his eyes drop and come back up to yours. It's like he glances down at your holy symbol. So how long are you gonna hold on to that relic? From what I hear, it's not so popular no more. Also, Kade and Tiram are a little bit ahead of the party, so if y'all want to listen in, you'll have to roll me perceptions.
Tiram looks back at Kade.
15.
Also 15.
You both hear a little bit. You hear a couple words in and out.
I'll carry this until my soul ceases to exist. I don't give a damn about who thinks it's popular and who doesn't. It's what I believe and what I know.
Side note, Jay, you've been wearing your armor the whole time, right? You never came out of it?
Not once.
Kade looks very closely at the armor. Jay, roll me... No. Pick a number between 15 and 22. And don't tell me.
All right.
I'm gonna roll. If I get higher, I'm gonna roll an investigation against your number. See if I can notice anything in the helmet. And you tell me if my roll is high enough to notice anything about you, good sir. I rolled a fucking flat 14, so I guess it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's definitely lower.
I thought the +5 was going to be a boost, but no. No,
Get
it wasn't.
The fuck out of here.
I noticed. Kade leans in, squinting his goggles at your helmet. He leans back and puts his hands behind his head. Yeah, well, I'm glad a man of faith is on this team because we're gonna need a lot of it. He looks back at Michaelo and Luna, and he looks back at you. It seems like we're the only ones that'll, be carrying the brain cell. Kade looks very defeated when he says that. He looks just absolutely depressed that he is on this adventure.
I don't fully know what your game is, Hyena, but I'll play along for now.
Kade smiles. I told you, just a couple of ingredients, and everybody gets to go home. He taps your armor again. Everybody gets what they want. He looks at you and he says, "So hopefully you give it your best. And I'm sure that goddess would be very upset if you didn't help bring fortune to an unfortunate soul as myself." He puts his hand on his forehead as he leans into you.
A soul such as yourself will never find yourself unfortunate. They could drop the sun on you and you'd come out unscathed.
Kade is taken aback. It sounds like you're calling me a cockroach, but I'll take that as a compliment.
Tiram states, do what you want.
All right. It's gotten kind of late. You don't have to stop here, but I would like to take a 10-minute break. Everybody pee, get snacks.
Right.
Smoke.
If you guys are up to stay up late, we may or may not have a combat planned. If you guys are getting tired, we can continue just role playing until the end. It's up to you. So, The party just left the transit stop, the shaded rock, and we have entered back into the dust storm. Everybody is kind of feeling each other out. We've all got some interesting relationships. Thanks, Michaelo. um, and I will leave the session here with as we press forward into the sand, all of you hear a scream. It sounds like a young girl. Help! Help me! Help! He's gonna get me! And that is where we will leave it. I'm gonna go ahead and give us an alley oop for the next session. Um, yeah, I probably could have did that before the fucking break, but you know,
Rosebud Thorn.
Rosebud
Thorn.
Thorn.
I went first last time.
Simon did go first last time.
Um, I guess I'll go first. It was a nice conversational session, Rose. There was definitely a nice layout of how things can unfold, and how stories will be intertwined. Um, Bud, I am interested to see what this ghost thing leads to. Um, Interested to seeing how this next combat session is gonna play out, and what's gonna happen when we get to our next destination. Um, Thorn, for myself, I gotta figure out my character a little more, and figure out how I'm going to, I guess, learn how I want to interact with people. Because I think I'm still trying to iron out like how much of a dick Tyram wants to be, but also not feel like I'm forcing it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
That's my Thorn.
I do very much get that. I'm trying to decide between how sassy and like snarky Cade really is versus just being a know-it-all.
All right.
Ryan, why don't you go next?
Okay. Rose to I really liked the role play in this session. It was very fun. I liked how Michaelo is just absolutely chaotic. Um, Bud to doing this next combat encounter because we had not done any this go around. um, Thorn. I don't think I have a Thorn for this session.
Okay, that's good.
Everything was really fun. The bad rolls this go around just made Michaelo seem even more chaotic with the whole tree and everything, and he just fucking gets up.
Oh man.
So
Miko is going to be a chaotic menace. I already feel it, and I'm really excited to see how that plays out into some of the deeper stuff later on.
yeah, that's mine.
Joshy boy.
Well, I can definitely say that one of my roads is wondering what kind of brain aneurysm that is going to be caused by the turtle. It's going to be very entertaining, but also brain hurty, you know? And I definitely agree, man. Your roles just really made it work. um, Bud of mine, I am going to be interested to see how the combat is going to go again, because it's nice to role play, the just the passiveness and everything. But when I believe that everyone is a little bit more awake and more active, the combat is just going to be a little bit more fun, especially when damage goes down. and or if it's whiffed. We'll see. But Thorn, I'd say for me, I definitely have to figure out how Luna sounds. The voice in my head shifts quite a bit, like I'm trying to change accents, and I'm trying to find a solid voice, and it's kind of difficult. So yeah, that's it for me.
Yeah, I get the voice thing too, but
Big rose towards Luna's mending. I love that. I love that you took mending. That's a great spell to have. Uh, um, I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed. I feel like I guess this is a bit of a thorn, but I really want to push into Tiram's character a little bit more. I did enjoy the little bit that we had, but I feel like Ceras and Tiram could be, because as goofy as Ceras can be, she's not really, as enamored as Ceres can be, she's not a
Her goals are
she's not
very
a child.
serious and dire.
She's not a child, but she can get excited at learning new things, but she's not a literal child. And I think she's curious about Tiram, but I feel like Tiram has come off as the more serious and reliable type, and therefore Ceres is going to gravitate towards that. So my only thorn is not deciding to interact with Tiram more. Big Rose to being able to find a little Big Rose to not getting a curse deficiency. Uh, not that you guys canonically know about it, but
Right.
metagaming.
Big Rose of that. Big Bud to the eventual future, because while I've disclosed a lot in metagame, there's a lot still that is beneath the surface, and I can't wait, because I've decided, the whole problem is with the edgy character. Nobody really gets to know anything about the edgy character because
Yeah,
fucking
you gotta leave breadcrumbs
exactly.
and determine when you can like really make your character be open, and that's like a really hard thing with trying to do
Yeah.
theorem, because it's like you said, like you have your moments where you're like jokey, and I'm like really trying to portray this like I've lost everyone I love, and so I'm distant until I feel that I can trust you and know that you won't betray me. And it's like, fuck,
I mean, we're still early game,
yeah.
But you know what? All I'm here because I get it. I'm trying not to indulge a bunch of secrets, even though I really want to.
No,
Um,
and I like that it's not forced. Like I'm
yeah,
just genuinely like waiting for there to be an in-game opportunity that I think feels like
first,
Tiram would open up or be vulnerable at that
first,
point. But until I feel that Tiram should get that out, I'm gonna keep it so
yeah.
Tiram is playing his
oh,
cards close to his
And
chest.
I feel like that's a bud of mine. Is I am going to be determined as Ceres, because I feel like that is a character trait of Ceres, is to get secrets out of people, because
I
it
was
is important to them and to Kade, uh, in order to serve Kade better. It is important for Ceres to learn as much about other people as possible, even though they are young and get distracted at learning moments.
Nice.
And
Man,
I feel like that might help a lot if you want to message me about not necessarily what it's about, but opportunities, I feel free. Like,
Ooh,
Okay, so I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like Ceres is actually the protag in this whole story.
okay. Well, we gotta work on that because that's a thorn. That's a thorn of mine. Because I don't want to focus on like I really like Ceres' interactions with Kade, but I don't want to make the focus on Ceres, right?
I want to say that it's not a
Simon,
everybody's characters.
Simon, look. Okay, so if everyone's a character in Goblin Slayer, it's okay for you to be Goblin Slayer, bro.
What?
I don't want
what,
that. I
what-
really don't want that.
Okay, what
What
I think
what I picture is like Ceres, and this is just me metagaming. Not that like Tyrum knows this, but like Ceres has like pressing consequences. So it's important that her mission is like her mission is very vital, whereas I can't fully speak for the other characters of the party, but Tyrum's not necessarily in a rush to like to completely bring everyone to justice. It's more of he was trying to formulate a plan, but and this opportunity showed up that could present him with a path to that goal. And I feel like it's similar for Michaelo because it's like Michaelo. I don't know fully what Michaelo. Yeah,
Michaelo found out something about Roman Cyranus.
Yes.
That he's not actually Roman Cyranus.
And then you've got Josh's motivation, which I don't know.
I actually have no
don't know
idea.
Yeah,
Right.
And I don't.
It's like I would be the last person
so
to be figured out. Okay. The way I see it, right, is Ceres' story is the one that comes first right now, which is why I'm saying you're the protag right now.
I would like to do my Rosebud Thorn.
Oh,
Sorry, we've been speaking.
No, it's okay. It's gonna pertain. It's gonna pertain to what we were talking about. Rose, to everybody getting into it. I love that everybody embraced the role play and really got to try to feel out some characters. I wanted this to be more of like a, walk along the path, get to know each other. So I think you all did a great job of doing that. Ceres, I don't think you're the main character, but I do think your character is the most outgoing. I think that makes it very easy for Ceres to talk to other people, even though Ceres doesn't even talk, which makes it all the more interesting. And I think that that's going to allow for our three stoic edge guys to really open up. I think Ceres gives off like golden retriever energy, and the other three have all been kind of traumatized. So it's not so much that you're the main character. I feel like you're just someone who's going to be, for lack of better words, easy to talk with. And that's what makes you feel so important right now, especially since a lot of the madness that just happened, nobody really knows anything except for Kade, who is trying his best to give as little information as he can. Because the less you know about his plans, the better. The less chance of you to fuck this up, the better. You know?
See, I was gonna say like that's partially a thorn of mine because I feel like Ceres has a bit of, Ceres is not exactly a trusting person when it comes to strangers, and I don't know if I like.
Yeah. And you're not doing this to you're not doing this to be trusting. You're doing this for information because you feel like that's what's gonna better help Kade. He was like, I need.
As long as I'm pushing that.
Yeah,
kind of thing,
You're giving off like the charm that is like you're using your charm to better understand your lay.
What is your charisma stat, sir?
Dude, it's like -2, I think. It's -1. Like what I'm trying to do is like because Ceres is certainly a character that is full of hurt, and full of like not necessarily mistrust. Well, mistrust. It's just full of burned. They've been
But
burned
like,
before, you know.
and
But you know,
the way
I'm just
I,
trying to not. I'm not trying to be
Simon,
like a Foley thing, but yeah.
the
I hear
way
you.
the
I
way
hear
the
you.
way the way I'm seeing it, Bud, is for the past, because you know our backstory, right? You know where we've been. Ceres has been with Cade
I want to keep it
on
true. Is
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So Ceres has been through the backstory, and we're at this point now where Ceres is finally getting a chance to truly step up and be helpful, and I feel like that's what Ceres is trying to do.
yeah. I agree with that. I just need to keep. I just need to before every session read that backstory that I wrote and just like feel
keep,
the
keep
embodiment of that. You
keep
know,
the hurt.
I just need to do that.
Okay, all
And
right.
also,
Okay.
thanks, Jay. That was really cool. Like I sent my backstory to Jay and Ron, uh, so that they could read it.
It was well written, guys. It was
And,
Yeah, it was great. I loved it.
and
um
it was just fun to write, and I think I might write a little thing with it
I
might end up
I
in
think
maybe some minor retcon, but I think it would be fun to write the rest of that of the
I
period in between.
I think that would be fun. I think
Ooh,
that
a
would
little
help you.
prequel.
Yeah, I think that would help you share memories.
And
I think that would help you.
I think that would help me like fully characterize Ceres, right?
Well, if you want to write something and bounce it off me, we can definitely go back and forth. I'll throw my own ideas in there to help, kind of like.
And I think that might be a good thing for everybody else. Like, if you feel the inkling, if you really want to solidify your character, because honestly, I didn't think it would help me as much as it did to solidify a character than writing a backstory to the character.
I gave Ron like a big backstory like way back
Mhm.
for Tiram.
I
Um
mean, like a time, a second by second, like you know what
I'm
I mean.
trying like I think my general understanding of how I feel about Tiram's time by the events that led him to becoming a paladin of Oath of Vengeance and meeting the party I think might be like I understand where it comes from, and you know my idea of it was just that he had kind of been like aimlessly drifting, you know, mission to mission. So if I were to do that, it would be just details about his past missions and and not necessarily like big interactions, but interactions with people since he was
Right.
uh s- since his order changed. I'm trying not to spill the
I think,
beans too much.
yeah, well, yeah. Since the order became under control, so that's one thing I have is I feel like I
Mhm.
might not be fully understanding. Is so, uh,
I would like to also say that I think
so
you're about to ask a question against plot, and I don't.
yeah,
It
yeah. So
definitely,
no matter, you know,
it definitely hasn't been explained fully yet.
so
If you want to try to piece this together
I'm
as
just saying. So
Ceres,
Khrushchev Ibram took over the
do it,
church.
do it in a Ceres voice. Ask Tyrus in a Ceres voice.
So you know, if anyone doesn't want to be curious about it,
No,
I'll
I'm
just
just saying
fucking
because
chime in.
Ceres would have understood fully because of her traveling circus status. I feel like Ceres, it would not be beyond the bounds of belief that Ceres would know of Kydros.
So yeah. So the backstory of it is that
I'm just
It
saying,
basic
was there
listen,
one church and then it separated, or
listen to me, guys,
it is
guys,
one church.
guys. Do you remember, both of you? Do you remember the piece of paper and how that was read about changes to who was being worshipped?
I do, yeah.
That's what that centers around. And Saris, I don't want you
oh,
reading. I don't want you reading
okay,
any more into it unless it's in character because I don't want to give away too
all right,
much. But
Yeah,
that
you know
was
it,
okay,
Desert.
okay. You know
I,
what? I think my notes picture perfectly my ignorance. I think that's perfect.
good. That's what I want. But just seeing everybody eventually play out like the deeper parts of their characters, I think that as a team we are very, very raggedy. But I kind of love that because that's what I think I was going for. So I do think that the raggedy team is going to be very interesting, and in a group full of a lot of people have hurt. I'm excited to see down the line a lot of like growth and how that changes each of your characters. So, this session gives us a glimpse of to kind of the direction everybody's going to take it, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see all of you learn about each other. I'm excited about you to learn about this world because there is plenty of lore that I have dumped into this. Um, and I am not afraid to answer any questions, but I am definitely going to make you roll history checks because Sarah's as a traveling circus clown who worked mostly backstage, you would know names and places. You wouldn't know so much about the history unless someone sat down and talked with you with it. And I don't think, and I don't think a whole lot of people would go into a circus to push that. You might have seen like the lower level church members offering salvation on the side of the road because that's kind of how they operate. But you wouldn't know any more than them saying like the goddess is Kydros and she pushes the fortune. She gives fortune to those less fortunate. That'd probably be about the limit. I
Okay.
would think.
Yeah. No.
Um,
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's the thing is Ceres would have heard of the names, but not like much else.
So
but
so
I
I
also
can
think
I
that
can
would
answer your
be.
I can answer your
Go ahead.
question without giving plot away. Khrushchev, before all the craziness, you would not have known him. You would not
Oh,
have
okay.
known of
Because
him.
I wouldn't. I feel like as Ceres wouldn't know the craziness that went on. So
He
Yeah,
I think Ceres would have no knowledge of what happened, or
you're
maybe
not.
people
You're not.
people from the order and people who are knowledgeable in the order itself would know him or know of him, but as an outsider who has minimal contact, you would not have known who Khrushchev was.
okay,
I would
sweet.
also like to point out that I did hint to Cade being a local from the area of the church. Not that that's metagaming because there's only one city known for it. Anybody
Yeah,
that's
he did
been
say it. He did say it.
yeah, anybody that's been in Evernord would know that the church is based
That's
in.
something too that like you and I are gonna have to talk about Tiram.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah,
I was throwing it out there for bait and hook. I was hoping you'd bite.
we'll explore that a little later.
It'll it'll come back
My
around.
my brain was elsewhere, but I have my
Um,
notes.
I think
well,
Kydros is certainly a god that Ceres might end up interested in. Fate and fortune and all that.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
it's fun. It's fun. I think once we get to that point where the group has more chemistry, it'll be interesting to delve into. I'm excited.
Yes. My only thorn of the night is I feel like I wish I could have hit you guys with a couple more talking points to try to like inspire conversation. I feel like there was a couple points where I kind of just dropped the ball on that. But I think overall everybody's interactions are great. I really do love doing this, and I'm excited to see this adventure really pick up. We got the fluffy 2 sessions out of the way with all the madness. And I think from here the story really is gonna start. You all guys, you guys got the direction kinda. You all know just enough about each other to be suspicious but kind of trusting. And this is definitely like you guys were roped in. And I definitely am excited to see you guys continue playing that out and seeing where that goes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, boys, this has been great. I will see you guys next Sunday, hopefully. Um, and that Sunday will start at 6, so we'll have a little more playtime. Um,
Yes,
yeah,
yes, yes.
I'm excited. I am excited to see where our party goes from here.
Sweet.
Um, all right. Well, on that note, everybody should have their bonus feats officially. Let me know if you guys have any questions.
Yeah, that's gonna be
And
fun.
yeah, that is definitely gonna be fun. And Josh, um, you're great, bud.
Night.
Thanks.
Night.
Night.
Night.